Trust is a fundamental building block for inspiring performance. It's the foundation for building a healthy society. So how important is trust from a leader's perspective? John Caparella is a friend and colleague for over 20 years, who has won awards for excellence in the various roles he has performed over his career. He is someone that people who know him or know of him trust him. Trust has served him well over a career that has led to his current role as president of the Venetian and Palazzo hotels and the Sands Convention Center in Las Vegas. Today, he and I will discuss the role of trust in organizations, its relevance, importance, how to create it, and how to rebuild it when it gets lost. Our conversation today will be about people and leadership and the benefit of working for a company where you feel you can trust your boss at every level, where you can trust your team members, your organization, all to do the right thing. One critical element involving trust is the extent to which all team members feel that their immediate supervisor is in their corner and has their back. Another major element is when an organization's values are aligned with the values of each team member. A third major component is when change happens. People feel involved, cared about, and ultimately engaged. This video discussion is an entertaining and engaging way to explore trust, what it is, how it impacts us, how to create it, and how to create it after it has been lost. To begin our discussion, let's consider how we involve people. What are some best practices that exist at the Venetian, and what else are you planning to do to increase the transparency of results and measures? Lots of times people feel more trusting in an organization if they know what's going on, if they know something about how the business works, how the results are coming in, so that they feel more connected, even though that their particular piece of the job may be far removed from whether you're profitable or not. How do you increase the transparency of results and measures for people at the Venetian, and what are you hoping to do in the future?
As it relates to trust and measures, it's really, the two are very closely connected. I think if you are good at reporting results and do so without fear, so that the organization can share the good news and the bad news. I think a lot of organizations are loath to share bad news. And as a result, the good news loses its importance and relevancy because people sort of don't believe it. It's the company line. So I think it's very important to celebrate the successes, but also communicate the areas for improvement. And I have this book on my desk, and I think it's the premise to the trust conversation in that this book is titled Fail and Fail Better. And that's what I believe. If you let the organization understand that it's okay to fail, that therefore it's okay to self-report failure, because we learn by failing, then the organization has the trust to take a chance, to give an opportunity to somebody else that they might not otherwise give. And frankly, you get a lot more strategic thinking, a lot better risk taking, and I think it's important. So, for instance, in this organization, we have a hit and miss log, and it's a self-reporting log that the catering and convention service team puts together, and its purpose is to capture both what the meeting planner said and what we know that went right and went wrong for each and every meeting. It's distributed widely in the hotel, so if we're late for a coffee break, or we were late for food, or food was cold, it's self-reported, it's okay, we learn from it, we track these results, and we work on those things that repeat. And I think that's the key, is communicating both the wins and the misses. And I believe that's what builds trust in the organization.
So results may not just be numbers, financial numbers, but results might be something around service and where expectations matter or not matter, promises kept or not kept. Now, it's interesting, John, because we've known each other a long time. We have a history of working for organizations that didn't do things that way. We saw a lot, both of us growing up, that organizations were punish messengers, and so messengers often crafted clever strategies to bury any kind of failure. And what was it that triggered in your mind the need to report failure, recognize failure, deal with it, and have the courage to do it, really?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's as soon as you have that conversation about recognizing failure quickly and reacting to it, it makes perfect sense that, of course, that's the right answer, as opposed to languishing and continuing to fail or not facing the music and fixing whatever the core problem is. Where it crystallized for me is the number. I've opened a lot of hotels, as you know. Opening a hotel is triage, and it is very dependent. Everything, you start with the day the hotel's going to open, you work a plan back on a Gantt chart, and if you miss targets, you're finished. You're just not going to get there. So there's a lot of on-the-fly changes that have to take place when you're opening a hotel. I had an epiphany one time where